Look at that. 18 games of blitz being played between Daniil Dubov and Hans Niemann in Moscow, Russia over the board blitz chess, and the loser of this match has to take a polygraph test or lie detector, and the other guy gets to choose the question that they've got to answer. Wow, are the stakes high for this one. And if you want some context here, where did this all come from? Well, Daniil Dubov refused to play Hans Niemann. I mean, he said he overslept their game, right? But it was, of course, complete you know what. He just didn't want to play the guy, and that's how this rumbled on. The match was brought about. We're seeing it play out. So exciting. I've picked out the game of the contest in my view. We're going to dive in here. Daniil had white. They got 3 minutes each plus 2 seconds a move. Wow, is this incredibly exciting. So we see the move on the board of c4, the English in Russia against the American. Hans goes e5, knight c3, and now prepare for something weirder than Fabi's Friday analysis outfit. It's bishop e7. Who plays that on this move 2, right? Nuts. e3 and f5. Already, Andrea starts spinning the beats. What a fight we're in for. d4, d6, offering the exchange of queens, but we don't see it. Instead, all the pieces stay on the board. Knight f6. We see this guy developed. Castles, and b3 looks for some fianchetto action here. So pawn to c ships. f3 in response. Both players with this super fluid structure. Where's the white king going? Hans carries on developing. This bishop fianchettos, and after knight bd7, always get your bits out. We now see g6 protecting this pawn. You know, there was a hint at taking it, and now what about this for an aggressive attacking move? You know, you could castle queenside straight off the bat, but Daniil goes pawn h4, just ploughing down the board. Hans strikes back with queen a5 here. He obviously wants to stir it up over there. a3 is played, rook e8 centralizes, and now after the opposite sides castling, it's Hans who breaks first with this powerful punch of b5 there. He wants to rip open the position and go for the kill, but so does Daniil, and this is nuts, right? Watch this for a move. Just grandmaster irresponsibility. Pawn g4, let's go. I mean, it's a terrible move because it's just not supported in this position. You really had to prepare it, but it's just such an exciting game. We're going to stick with it because the complications are nuts. Now, what does Hans play here? He takes on c4, opening up this b file for a rook. Later, he wants to attack, but first, he finds this outstanding perler, pawn e4 there, and the idea is the bishop's trapped, so you do have to take. And now it's not about recapturing here, although it's a very playable move, but knight takes on g4 and you're completely busted. You know, the knight's jumping in here, you're going to fork queen and rook, but not just that. Say you go queen d2, well, there's knight f2 to play as well. Fought these guys. I mean, everything's just completely collapsing now. And Daniil realizes this. He's under pressure here. So he goes to just mess things up, like complicate it, right? He plays this pawn d5 move, going after that bishop. And Hans just comes up with an absolute cracker of a response. Does he move the bishop, which is dead on e6? No, he doesn't. Does he jump with this knight? No, he doesn't. He plays this one, spawns a seahorse, and it's truly epic because if you capture the bishop, which is being offered, you can then jump in here and watch these two knights tango. Say you come to d2 to hit the knight, natural. Now there's knight b3 check. You go to fork Vegas, that's the end of the game. What if instead you dropped back here instead of going to d2? Now this isn't just check, this is mate. The king is hemmed in by all its own pieces. Wow, these are incredible lines. So let's run it back. We did not see takes on e6 after knight c5. Instead, Dubov went knight d4, great move, but now Hans can indeed crash through, threatening to win the exchange. The queen saves itself, and again, we don't see takes here. We don't see takes with check. No, we see more just mad complications. My head's spinning. Bishop f6. And this has got to be the coolest move of the game, because if the queen captures the knight and then defends this guy, well, it's a pseudo defense because you can take here, Queen captures, same tactical problems. What a game this is. And black is again winning. All the lines are just working out for black. So we didn't see takes on e3 here. We didn't see knight takes. You know, it works out better for black. We didn't see pawn takes. Did I explore this? Again, then it's just bishop takes. None of that. Instead, in this position here, we saw e5 from Dubov. So he's going for this idea of blocking the bishop. You know, if pawn takes, you've blunted it. So this one was played, and now we see knight takes on c6. It was playable a move earlier, but Dubov's done it in this order so that he distracts the bishop there. Now he can capture it after the queen moves. So he's got the bishop pair. Lovely jubbly. But first Hans takes on d1. More complication. Winning the rook. Threatening to take here. Hit the queen. So you do have to recapture, which was played. Now we see takes here. And a really bad move is played by Hans in just a minute. First we get takes on e6. And now what you should do, top way to go, is rook b8 here, because this queen's a bit overloaded. You know, you're threatening to mate, and if you try and block with the queen or defend with the queen, let's say, then you could take this with check and you distract the queen's defense. So you have to do something like this to block. But okay, you can go a6, you can also do this, and this one's now dropping off the board. You know, it's pinned, e4 is coming, completely over. Black is crushing it. But rook b8 was missed. Instead, Hans takes on e6 here. Sorry, d3 check. It's harder to do it in this lead chess view than what I'm used to on chess.com, but this is the only place I could get the game. Now the queen recaptures, queen takes here, and in the space of 2 moves, he's not just shed his advantage. White's now marginally better after landing this pony on the outpost here. You got the 2 minors for the rook. However, look at this. This one runs, and those are getting super dangerous. Connected, passed, being pushed by the heavy pieces. How do you fight back against that so low on time? Well, Dubov goes for the attacking move here. Queen f5 offers the exchange of the ladies, a la Magnus, but we don't see it played. Instead, queen b3, trying to target the exposed king. c5 now played after g5, trying to keep the lines closed, and it opens the queen's gaze on this one, so it sidesteps, and now you should go knight c7 as the best move, but instead rook e1 is played. Mistake, because you're losing time. Hans can march the pawn. The knight stumbles back to try and cover this square, and it hits the queen here, but guess what? Does Hans move it here or anything? No, he doesn't. He plays the swashbuckling pawn f2. Take my queen, I take yours with check, then win your knight. It's horrendous for white. So instead we see rook f1. The queen marches in, centralizing like a black widow spider, and after this move of queen c3, Hans is fully in the driving seat after rook f3, about to win a piece. King d2, the only way to survive, and now there's a simple winning tactical motif here. 2 ideas actually, but Hans misses both of them. Now the first one is this: just run the g pawn. How do you stop g3, g2? You just don't, right? Not in any sensible way. There's too many problems here. The king's completely overloaded. This one can join in too. Or instead of pushing the pawn, you can play this, queen takes, but then you check. And because this next one joins the party, you can't fight off all the threats. You know, you can't block. Say you go here, then you go here. You're winning the queen. Here's how the line could play out. Something like this. Anyway, you win the queen, you win pawns, etc. But neither of the moves found. Not g4, not takes on e3. Hans Niemann plays rook b8. Really natural idea to eliminate this guy and then take here, overload the queen, but he's overlooked a massive tactical shot. Now I'm not going to show you it immediately, you can maybe guess it, these arrows giving away the game. But after this move of bishop a1, it was missed. Hans still doesn't find a winning continuation. He plays rook f4, again allows the tactic, and this time Daniil Dubov, the blitz beast he is, finds the shot here. He goes queen takes on e5, check, and that is resignation. I think Hans shook his hand here, but it's game over, right? Don't moke the bear, don't poke the moke. Can't remember all the phrases I was going to come up with, but he's getting moked. Mokey bear's going down here, because after takes, bishop takes, check, you move the king and the rook drops, completely undefended, and now do the material count. White is 2 minor pieces up, and fine, you got a couple nice pawns, but this one anyway is about to drop. Devastating loss for Hans Niemann, and the final match score, or sorry, the day score was 5.5, 3.5. Dubov is 2 games ahead, but they're playing 9 more tomorrow. Then we find out crunch time, who wins, who does the polygraph. Hope you enjoyed this one. Smash subscribe if you did, and have a look at the video on screen in case you missed the immortal game which was played just yesterday. Thanks a lot and see you soon.